Candy, why did you cover up a picture of Billy Crystal with Mike Wazowski? Because this man has in fact ruined my peace. Because there I was in bed at 1 o'clock after having watched Throw Mama from the Train, and I'm not able to sleep. And then a realization hits me. Now before you call me stupid, understand that I am greatly aware, and I have to fight my own stupidity every day. But at 1 o'clock this morning did I realize that this Billy Crystal and this Billy Crystal are in fact the same Billy Crystal that voices Mike Wazowski. Now you can argue, Candy, this was a big deal when Monsters, Inc. came out. Everybody was talking about how he was Mike Wazowski. Bro, I was in single digits when it came out. And Billy Crystal didn't mean anything to me. Up until that point, he had done what? Mostly adult films, and I'm sorry, when Harry Met Sally was not in the kindergarten curriculum. I mean, the only reason I know who John Goodman was for Sully is because I'd watched reruns of Roseanne. And that man is a human incarnate of a dad hug. Anyway, so that's how I figured out that this is the same man that was also Mike Wazowski. The man who tried to throw a woman from a train, but also treats the bride of Chucky like a queen. Let me switch over to the regular poster because it's really fucking with my eye. Hooray! Alright, onward. This is Throw Mama from the Train from, I think, 1987? Like, 87, 88. Anyway. I think you can understand why I chose to watch this, but you would be wrong, because the reason I chose to watch this is because Danny DeVito! Not only does he star in Throw Mama from the Train, he directs it. And once again, do we have Barry Sonnenfeld, you know, the director of The Addams Family, as the director of photography for this film, and it shows. And Rob Reiner makes an appearance, who directed When Harry Met Sally. They must all be friends. So what is Throw Mama from the Train about? So Billy Crystal has this ex-wife that stole his manuscript, supposedly, and then she became a 2 million copy bestseller. And he hates her, and he has said multiple times he wants her dead for ruining his life. Which I don't totally buy, because he's trying to work on his second book. He's been working on this for 4 years, doesn't actually have anything. And he keeps trying to start this damn book with, the night was. The night was moist. The night was humid. And I'm like, are you sure you wrote that? But I digress. On the other side, we have Danny DeVito, who lives with his elderly mother, who physically, emotionally, and mentally abuses the shit out of him. And really anybody she comes in contact with, but especially him. And he is so miserable that he's fantasizing about killing her basically every moment of every day. But also he's kind of codependent on her, so he can't actually go through with it. And those are their opponents. So Billy Crystal teaches writing at the community college where Danny DeVito is taking the class. And he's not a very good writer. He keeps trying to write a 3-page murder mystery that's not very good. And Billy Crystal's trying to tell him that because Danny DeVito keeps more or less stalking him. He tells them, in order for a murder mystery to work, you gotta get rid of the motive. Because if you don't have a motive, you can't solve a case. Or something to that effect. And Billy tells Danny to watch Alfred Hitchcock, which he does. And I think he was watching, like, Strangers on a Train or something. But he took that kind of literally and meant that they were going to switch and kill, and Billy would kill Danny's mom, and Danny would kill Billy's wife. So Danny follows Billy's wife onto a cruise ship, and she goes overboard. Supposedly he thinks he killed her. I don't know if he ever pushed her in, but whatever. Then he calls Billy and tells Billy, hey, I killed your wife, now you need to kill my mama. And Billy Crystal's like, no, absolutely not. And instead of going to the police, he tries to hide everything. And most of the movie is just them going back and forth about Billy Crystal not wanting to murder Danny DeVito's mama. And also hiding from the police because they think he murdered his ex-wife. Because he kept screaming that at everybody who would listen. And then at the end, we finally get Mama on the train. Mama was on the train for like 5-ish minutes at the very end of this movie. They were going to hide out in Mexico where Billy Crystal could finally be a writer. And then he was telling Danny about his trouble with the night was, or whatever. And Mama fills in the word sultry. And that sends Billy over the edge. He's like, this bitch gotta die. Like, I'm sorry if you can't write, sir, but whatever. And is planning on pushing her off the train, but she gets all the way to the caboose because, like, she's trying to run away because she thinks he murdered his wife because she saw it on TV. She nearly goes off the back of the train, but then they actually rescue her because Danny DeVito loves his mama. And then it turns out that the ex-wife's not actually dead. She was rescued by a fishing boat when she went overboard. She doesn't even suspect that anybody actually pushed her because she was trying to reach for an earring. Well, they both go on to write books. Danny makes a children's book. It's a little pop-up, and instead of, murder, it's about him and Billy Crystal and his mama, and they go on a picnic. It's very sweet. And Billy Crystal writes a best-selling novel called Throw Mama from the Train about the experience. And they all go to Hawaii, except Mama, because she died, like, over the next year. But it was natural causes that we know of. The end. Now moving on to my questions, comments, and concerns. Number 1, did you know Danny DeVito is only 3 years older than Billy Crystal? Danny is currently 79, and Billy is 76. He's also a Pisces, really? Interesting. Wait, Danny's a November Scorpio. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a total lot of sense. Anyway. Number 2, if you had a nickel for every time there was weird sex in this movie, you would have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Now, the first time, it's Billy Crystal with some kind of college professor. But he got really turned on by her reading The Little Engine That Could in bed. You know, the children's picture book that's, I think I can. Because the first time they tried to have sex in a kiddie train ride. Which, like, ew. And then the second time, his ex-wife's having sex with, the gardener, I guess, pool boy, whatever. And he won't stop barking like a dog. But it's not like borky borky, it's like arf. Imagine being in the middle of getting wienered and all you hear is arf, arf. And then nobody will stop answering the phone during coitus. Like, sir, if you answer the phone balls deep, I'm leaving. And I'm telling everyone you're impotent. Anyway, and then number 3, you do get some very sweet points with Danny DeVito. There are some, I would gather, insinuations that I think we're supposed to catch on to. They break your heart a little bit, but they're also really sweet. So do with that what you will. Did I like this movie? Yeah, it was okay. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I don't feel like it's like a solid 10 out of 10, mostly because of the whole train thing. But I could give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Okay, bye. Going off the rails, keeping Mama on the train.